You see life differently now than you did before?
I have a very unique experience of life because I'm constantly aware of who and what I am, and my body is too. My body knows there are two of us in here.
The two being?
The human animal and me.
And who's the me?
What we would call soul, the being of light, the person that I truly am, my eternal being.
So you're suggesting that we all live these two dimensions simultaneously?
That's my understanding.
And both
yes.
are important? Both are required?
Not required, no. It's a choice to enter into a human and to share that human's life. You know, when you're an omniscient being who can manifest physical reality with just a thought, it's kind of a nice experience to come to the physical world and learn by rote, and to not know all the answers, and to experience physical sensations. I mean, during my afterlife experience, I was made keenly aware of the physical sensations that I had taken for granted. I mean, just simple things like the touch of skin. When you're a spiritual being, you have no ability to touch. And I miss food. I miss chocolate. I've said that a million times, but I was surprised that I missed chocolate. I mean, I'm in the afterlife. I'm in heaven, you know. Mm-hmm. I miss chocolate. So that wasn't enough reason to bring me back here, though. But yes, both beings are important. We are the guardian of the human animals we inhabit, and they are our closest, dearest friend.
You sound like you're speaking from a sense of proprietorship for the soul self, referring to the animal self as something separate from who you are in your conscious mind.
The understanding, the very first wave of knowings that I got when I was in the light, before anything else happened, was about the fact that humans are, they're manifestations, but they are beings in and of themselves without a soul. In other words, humans are animals who are self-aware, they have intelligence, they have emotions, they have life, they have drives and instincts and memories and everything needed to be alive and to function normally in this environment on Earth. They do not need souls inside. We are not the life force of the human animals. We, on the other hand, I call beings of light, because that's when near-death experiencers, you know, describe their experience, they see these glowing beings. Well, call them beings of light. That's us. That's who we really are. And we can invest our energy, some of our energy, into a human animal as its soul. We are complete beings in and of ourselves. We have our own personalities, innate characteristics, memories, thoughts, emotions. They're similar to those that we experience in human life, but far outstrip anything that a human life has to offer.
What prepared you for this role? Were you much of a spiritual or religious person prior to this event?
Yes. I tried very hard to be a very good person. I read a lot of spiritual books. I mean, I was the little geeky kid that read Siddhartha, you know, in grade school when other people were out playing wiffle ball. I was very, I would have to say I was ill-equipped for this human life. From the time I was born, I felt different. I didn't understand human behavior. I still don't a lot of times. I have always felt like I didn't fit in. So I read spiritual books, books about that I felt described our true nature, as a way of comforting myself, of reassuring myself that I wasn't alone.
So this may have prepared you for the experience you were eventually destined to go through, at least a little bit.
Yes.
Why were you chosen to perform this function?
Because I was off track. I mean, I was so far off track.
We're all off track.
How do you know?
Well, I'm just guessing there's a lot of wayward people among us.
Well, I can't speak for the other wayward people. All I know is that based on the information I was given during my experience, I volunteered to come here this life to be a messenger. I knew I'd been a catalyst. I mean, all my life I'd always felt like I was a catalyst in people's lives, saying or doing something that changed their life. A lot of times it was really not a good thing that I did, but anyway, it was what they needed at the time. But and I'm not the only one. There are maybe millions of us. There are lots of us here who came at this particular point in Earth's history to ease all of us into the next phase of human existence, the next phase of Earth.
Know anybody else alive today who's experienced what you have to the degree you have?
I don't know anyone, but I read an account by Mellen-Thomas Benedict that sounded to me like he had been through, he'd been to the source. I have no doubt whatsoever that he merged into the source. That's the only NDE account that I've ever read where I felt that the person had the same experience I did.
Silly question, but I'm sure there were professionals out there in the mental health field and physical health field who questioned whether or not this was a figment of your imagination, a dream, a hallucination, or something even more profound than that.
Yeah, my doctors did.
And how have you reconciled those questions?
I don't care what they think. One of the commonalities among the near-death experience accounts that I have read of those who have gotten far enough into the experience is that the sense of reality there far, far outweighs the sense of reality we have here. Mm-hmm. I mean, looking back at human life from that vantage point, I could not believe that I ever thought this was real. Mm-hmm. And so the same sense of unreality that we get about dreams while we're here in human form, I had while I was there about human life. So there was no doubt in my mind that it was real, and that's true reality. This is a virtual reality game, a role, a play.
A dream, an illusion?
A dream, an illusion, a character that I'm playing.
What is the purpose of the rest of your life in this act, then?
Well, my contract with the council is that I'm supposed to be giving people the information that I got while I was there to the best of my ability.
And are you?
I'm trying. I do have 2 books so far. The second one will come out October 1st. I'm trying to do some speaking. It's difficult for me physically. Mm-hmm. I'm trying.
I've loved sifting through your book, your first book, backwards, and I've prepared some 20 questions from it, if it's okay, and we'll just proceed if that's all right. You say you were 2 separate beings, flesh and light and energy. Is it possible to pierce the veil that separates our light being from our flesh being? Can we be aware of both simultaneously?
I don't know if everybody can, but I am. And I think that's partly because my body caught me trying to leave on several occasions and was aware that I could leave and it would be alone here on this physical earth without me.
So once you became aware of that
my human
duality,
became aware of that.
Yeah, you've simply retained that awareness.
Yes.
You don't question it, it's real.
It's real.
In talking about Source, or God, you say Source by nature has unlimited curiosity. That really intrigues me. How could this be possible since Source is omniscient? What would be the point of curiosity?
The curiosity is part of the creative nature, I think. I think the reason why some people engage in their art is they're curious about what's going to come, how it's going to turn out, where's their creativity going to flow. So that's part of the creativity of Source. The other part of it is, or the curiosity of Source, the other part of it is Source knows everything in an intellectual fashion. What it seeks is experiential knowledge. Knowing what something is and how it feels are 2 different things.
Mm-hmm. So that is the germ of its sense of curiosity then?
Yes. And we satisfy that curiosity by getting those sensations for Source.